You gonna tell me you work for me for love?
I don't know why I work for you, but it ain't for love or money.
Well, that's right, it's not. And you don't know why. But I do.
Why?
Boy, you work for me because I'm the way I am, and you the way you are.
Welcome, Jude Law. I'd always assumed when I saw you in that movie that you'd been together, worked together before, but that in fact was the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
What were first impressions before you actually met?
I thought he was so ugly.
We'd met a couple of times.
Briefly, yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
But it was always this funny thing. I always felt like I don't know, like I kind of knew you or I knew her, yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed impossible that we'd never worked together. It was very strange. And funniest still, actually, with Sam, I lived down the road from Sam.
Sam Mendes.
Yeah.
Sam Mendes.
Yeah.
And he actually, lived around the corner from me for nearly 5 years, and we didn't meet until we did Road to Perdition in Los Angeles. So
I love
sort of
that
bizarre.
movie. Yeah. That's the one part you played where you played ugly, didn't you?
I suppose so. Yeah.
It's true, though. You're evil, little swine.
He's evil, yeah. He is evil.
I mean, really good movie. I really like that part, really juicy part. That was.
It was fun. Well, Sam let me just run away with it. And there wasn't a whole lot on the page, so we wanted to do a lot with the way he looked, and he had to be memorable. A 9-hour haircut I had. They took my fringe from here to there, and it saved time by actually cutting it off. Yeah.
Things you do for movies. What about working with this in the scene there with an actor as charismatic as that Sean Penn? I mean, Kate was making the point that in the movie industry you learn on the hoof, don't you? You watch people like him, I suppose, be one that you would watch.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you learn from something like that? Because he's such an extraordinary actor, isn't he?
I'd known Sean for a little while before we worked together, but he was one of the main reasons I wanted to do the job, to watch him at work, and he was extraordinary to watch, always different, always challenging. His awareness of himself was what fascinated me. He knew when he could do it better, and I often look to the director for that. I always feel like I put myself in the director's hands a lot more.
Yes.
He was absolutely aware of everything he was doing, and when he knew he could go again and find something new. It was extraordinary.
Let us talk about your new film called Breaking and Entering, because Anthony Minghella, who directed you in a couple of films as well.
It's the third time we've worked together.
Third time, that's right. And he made a very, very good point about you, and he said this, because he was comparing to Robert Redford, and the relationship that he had with Sidney Pollack.
Oh, that's right, yeah, they made 8, 9 films together, yeah.
And he said that, of you, he said, he's too handsome to be rated as an actor. It's a perversion of our times. What he's saying is that your looks, for some people, define you. Or that you have the problem proving all the time that you're not there because you're a good-looking geezer, which you are, but because you're a good actor as well. Did you see? I mean, did you see what he's saying?
Not really. I think, going along with what Kate said, I think there's a really unhealthy obsession, which seems to be a measure of our time or a sign of our times, which is it's like a vanity. It's an obsession with how we look, what we're wearing, how other people look. If they look a certain way, we judge. I don't know. And as a parent, again, like Kate said, I just see it as incredibly unhealthy, and it's certainly nothing I put an emphasis on with my kids. However, having said that, Anthony was talking about work. Maybe, I don't know, I could say that, I won't be cast in certain roles. But, I look
what
at...
roles? Like...
Well, I don't know. You could say I wouldn't be... Well, Maguire, funnily enough, the guy I played in Road to Perdition, you could say wasn't an obvious choice for Sam to call me up and offer me that. And,
that's right.
But I look at the people I've worked with and the work I've done, and I keep getting phone calls to go to work, so it's going all right. So
no, I mean, I don't think.
I
mean, the point he's just making is that a bit like Robert Redford, that the more interesting roles in his life came later on in his life.
I think that's true, but I think that's also true too. In a funny way, a lot of it's about letting go. I did sort of beat myself up quite a lot in my 20s, where I really felt And I'm glad I made these decisions, but I made a very conscious effort not to play the romantic leads and not to appear in the sort of romantic comedies and take that path. Because, you know, I was a young guy, I wanted to be taken seriously, I wanted to... I kept saying to myself, longevity. Like, I really wanted to... I remember being inspired by, you know, Prospero's books and seeing Gielgud, aged, I think, 84, 85, doing some of his best film work, you know, and thinking, like, that's where I wanted to get to.
Yes.
And to blow it all quickly just felt more apparent if I were to play up on being, you know, the good-looking boy next door. I wanted to... And also, I wanted to stretch myself as an actor. And I've kind of realised that living by those rules or trying to take parts by, you know, following those kind of laws actually is a bore. And so, well, just recently I've just enjoyed sort of what's come my way and
It's
not
done a fair range,
fought it
haven't
quite
you?
so hard.
I mean, if you take the part that you play in All the King's Men, which is the, if you like, the political conscience of the man, the Sean Penn, the corrupt politician, and then in Breaking and Entering, it's very much a sort of modern London story. It's the young, successful guy with a business in King's Cross, rejuvenating King's Cross.
Yeah.
And through a complicated series of incidents, falling in love with Juliette Binoche, who played... I'm going to have to tell you, that is my idea of a sexy woman.
Juliette.
Oh. I mean, that's a proper woman, isn't it? Like Kate's a proper one, it's a proper woman.
Go on, sorry. What I found really fascinating about Juliette was her absolute inability to be dishonest. She was in every way, both as a woman off-screen and also as an actress, just committed to the truth. And it was quite... it certainly raised your game. You really felt like you couldn't hide.
It's a very believable affair you have together, and it's a very strong line in the story. Let's have a look at the time when you were sort of starting the beginnings of your affair.
Are you unhappy?
What makes you say that?
You always seem when you come here. I don't know.
I'm happy enough.
Happy enough. So English.
What about let me ask the two of you this, because you've both been through this, the public scrutiny, the paparazzi and all that sort of stuff.
You love it.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
We love it.
You've had a good run at it, haven't you?
I have, haven't I?
You've done all right. Yeah. Never out of it. But what's your view of it? I mean, how do you... First of all, how do you rationalise it? And secondly, what intrigues me about it is the problem of children. How do you organise... If I want to take my grandkids, which I'm going to do this week, I'm going to take them to a museum, right? It's very easy for me. I put them in the back of a car, I drive them up there. Right, I wander in, nobody bothers me. It's fine. If they do, say hello, hiya, mate, fine. But there's no problem. Now, you can't do that, can you? There's no way you can... No. So, I mean, explain to me what you have to do.
Well, you do all the normal things, and you have to take a very deep breath and hope that you don't fly off the handle like a protective parent, and react like a protective parent normally would. I'm still not very good at it. I sort of feel like I guess you know, my friends say I live with my head in the sand a little bit. Like, I feel like I still don't understand why they're there. I still don't understand. I've never been a great fan of magazines and glossies and all that, and so I see no appeal in what they're trying to get anyway. I see nothing, and I see nothing from what I'm doing. You know, fine photos of people looking glamorous and walking up, but photos of walking down the road with a kid, or picking kids up from school, or walking your dog, or buying them milk, it's like, I don't see what they're getting. So that, I'm still not very, but listen, you know.
You know, you regard that as being an intrusion.
It is a massive intrusion, and the kids don't ask for it, so... But also, I'm terribly bored of talking about it. Just because I feel like I'm always... And I know that a lot of people think, well, you know, yeah, but all the great stuff comes with that, and it's a price you pay, and it's what do you expect? Well, it's I don't know. Why is it a price?
Well, no, I mean,
I've never sold a story. I've never gone out and
of course, and
said, hey, come to my wedding.
And half of it's not to do with your profession in any event. I mean, it's to do with your private life, basically. That's your profession doesn't enter into it. You know.
But you asked how you prepare. The truth is, you can't prepare, and I'm not someone who has. You know, bodyguards or, you know, sort of security. Or so you do try and plan the best options of how to get in and out of somewhere, and you double back. But you know, it happened actually yesterday. You mentioned the museum. I was at the V&A yesterday with my 2 boys, and we were followed around the entire museum by these 2 guys. And my 10-year-old was like, "Why is that guy following me?" And the funny thing is, they really try and hide.
Yeah, and
it's really funny. They're so crap at hiding.
That you don't know
they're always like doing this. And my 10-year-old's going, "What? Dad, what is that bloke doing?" And they're trying to be like, you know, secret squirrel running in between pillars and this bloody great lens. Like, they're literally behind trees, like they can't see me. And the kids are like, can see you.
Yeah. Mia's always she'll be the first to spot. She goes, uh-oh, Paps. Immediately.
Well, it ain't going to change, is it? That's the sadness of it all. But
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. It's going to get worse. I mean, not for you personally, but I mean the entire way that journalism has gone now, the entire way that the sort of gossip industry is, it's a huge enterprise.
Yes.
Now, you know, and it supports many, many people in their nefarious...
The interesting thing is, I actually said I wasn't going to say this. The interesting thing is people, you know, who... passers-by, people who see it happening are always wonderful. They're always like, leave them alone, leave the family alone, and, you know, what are you doing, what do you expect? And I always think, I wonder if those people then go off and buy the magazines. No, because the truth is, if they don't agree with it, don't buy them.
Well, that's right. That's the rationale. And the rationale of the people who print them is, you know, supply and demand, is that what they say as well. Finally, talking about intriguing movies, the next one you're making is going to be very interesting indeed, Sleuth.
Yeah, I've been... I'm producing it as well. I've been working on it for a couple of years, and I really loved the original. But what I loved about the original was the essence of this idea, the essence of the piece, which is basically 2 men in one house battling out, kind of through their wits, the heart of a woman who you never meet, you never see, and. I've been working with Harold Pinter.
Yeah, doing the screenplay.
He's done the screenplay. Michael Caine's coming back, but playing the
other part,
older part.
The
and I'm playing the Caine part, and Ken Branagh's directing it.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It sounds absolutely
interesting.
Yeah, I've got Sir Michael on the show next week, so we shall have a word about
Say
it.
hello.
Can't stop him talking to say hello. Jude Law, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.